specifically have given testimony that Ms. Heard was uninjured between the 21st of May up into perhaps the 25th or 26th of May, and then of course she appeared bruised again on the 27th. Some of them have testified that even after the 27th, they were with her and she appeared, and that she appeared bruised. But during that period between the 21st and the 27th, I'm not sure if I've listed 9 plus the 2 police officers, but I think that's an illustration of what I was referring to when in the question you asked me about.
Can you please pull up the document labeled ARW 660, please? Sorry, but you do believe that the pictures and videos Marilyn Manson sent you helped disprove Ms. Heard's allegations, correct?
As to that incident, Thanksgiving, perhaps 2013, I think those videos and photographs, yes, demolished her claim.
Have you communicated with other social media users about this case other than public messaging platforms? Let me ask that differently. Have you communicated privately with other social media users about this case?
Other social media, I want to make sure I'm precise. Other social media users?
Yes.
That group would include almost everybody on Earth.
Have you provided information about this case to other social media personalities who then post that information?
I've provided information episodically to what I would call internet journalists, and I'll define that as journalists who are not affiliated with, you mentioned, I think, NBC a moment ago, or a mainstream media outlet.
Have you communicated with a social media user who goes by the name That Umbrella Guy?
I've had several phone calls with the person who goes by the name That Umbrella Guy. I don't actually know his real name.
Have you communicated with him other than through phone calls?
I don't remember doing so, no.
What are other, well, let me ask you this. Have you communicated in a similar fashion with someone on social media who goes by the name That Brian Fella?
Yes.
What about someone who goes by the name The Real Laura B?
Yes.
And have you communicated to those individuals listed evidence that you believe suggests that Ms. Heard's allegations are hoaxes?
I would say I communicate with the internet journalists, because we put them in a category calling them that. I've done that. Exactly the same way I would communicate with mainstream media. If they have questions about evidence or the facts, I'll inform them.
And have you, when you communicate with them, do you do so? You testified some by phone, correct?
Yes.
Do you do so by text or messenger platform?
Largely, I think by phone, but if I communicated in writing, it would be probably by signal.
Can you please pull up the exhibits ALH 17001 to 2, please?
Showing on the screen, exhibit 24.
No, my first question is that in that box where it says first on the record statement from me regarding the body cam to RTL, Adam Waldman, Johnny Depp's attorney, is that a statement that you made to a German media outlet called RTL?
Yes.
And in that statement, you say that LAPD have now opened up a criminal investigation into perjury of Ms. Heard, correct?
Yes.
Did you make a correction to RTL when you learned that the LAPD wasn't in fact investigating Ms. Heard for perjury?
Well, the way you've characterized it is not exactly what I would agree with. The LAPD told me that they were investigating the perjury claim at that time. Then sequentially came the statement. Then came notification from the LAPD that it was actually the LA Sheriff's Department that was investigating it, and that was the last I heard about it.
And who notified you from the LAPD that it was allegedly the Sheriff's Department who was investigating it?
The same desk officer at Foothill. And when I say he's the desk officer, I don't know if that's not necessarily the job title.
How did you find his, do you have his contact information?
I don't think I do. I don't know, but I don't, well, I'm not sure.
And I'm sorry if I asked you this. How did you come into contact with this desk officer?
I brought a binder of information, including the statements that had been made and the evidence showing that those statements were false.
In your view? So you took a binder to the LAPD and spoke to this desk officer?
Correct.
And was that the only time that you spoke to this person?
The 2 times.
Were they both in person?
Oh, maybe it's 2 or 3 times. No, no, 2 times we're on the phone.
Was the first meeting in person when you brought this binder?
No, the first was on the telephone.
So the investigation was opened up at your request after you brought this binder to the desk officer? Is that right?
I didn't ask him to open an investigation. I filed a claim with the LAPD regarding these perjurious statements that Ms. Heard and her best friend Rocky Pennington had made to a court.
Was that claim that you filed in writing?
Yes.
Do you know whether that claim was produced as part of your document production in this case? Because I certainly haven't seen it.
I don't know that I ever received a copy of it. It was filed in writing with the LAPD. But I don't recall that I ever received a copy of it.
Did you draft it?
No.
So you were talking to the desk officer and he was taking down notes, and is that the writing you're referring to?
Yes.
Did you ever see this alleged written claim?
Yes.
Did you sign it?
I don't recall if I did.
Did you ever speak to anyone other than your client about this alleged perjury investigation, other than your client and the desk officer?
Well, I think this quote that you've shown me to the media would constitute speaking about it.
Did you ever hear anything more about this perjury investigation, to the extent it existed, from any other third party who claimed that they had spoken to anyone in LAPD or the LA Sheriff's Office?
No, I don't think so.
Mr. Waldman, do you have a professional license?
I do.
Do you have your own law firm?
I do.
What is the name of your law firm?
Endeavor Law Firm.
When was Endeavor Law Firm formed?
I think it was in 2005.
And who was it who formed your law firm?
It was I who did it.
And who owns your law firm?
I do.
What is your title at the Endeavor Law Firm?
Managing member, I believe.
And it's none of our business who your clients are, but does the Endeavor law firm have other clients other than Mr. Depp?
Yes.
Does Johnny Depp issue you a Form W-2?
I don't think so, no.
Do you receive legal training from Johnny Depp or any of your other clients?
I suppose the practice of law in general is legal training, but if I understand your question correctly, no.
Fair point. Have you ever listed Johnny Depp as your employer on any filings with the IRS?
No.
But you offer legal services to clients, correct?
Yes.
All right, I'll say, do you offer legal services to the general public?
Probably not to the general public, but I offer legal services. I think that's your question.
All right. Yes, ma'am.